Probably my favorite fly is the epoxy minnow, especially where I fish, which is Montauk in the east end of Long Island. I use it in the flats in the spring where it can mimic any type of bait that's out there, and I use it in the fall in Montauk where it mimics the rain bait, which is the bay anchovy and is our prevalent bait. The density of the epoxy minnow makes it sink much faster, which I like in the blitz situations. I also like it for its durability because the bluefish can't rip it up as much. When tying the epoxy minnow, the materials I use are a hook, number one, that may be a size 1 to a size 4. Polar fiber is what I like to tie with. The stick-on eyes, epoxy, some sort of flash, whether it be crystal flash or some ultra hair, doesn't matter, just a tiny bit of flash to give it clear thread, mono thread, and that's pretty much it. Very simple fly. I start by applying my mono thread, taking a piece of Bill's body braid to build the body. I tie it in behind the eye of the hook, basically because I'm going to wrap all the way down the shank of the hook and all the way back up to give it a nice thick body. Trim, just wrap, and that's it. Next step is I'm going to take some of the polar fiber. I use my scissors to pull the fiber away from the patch and cut it right next to where the patch is attached to the fibers. Any longer fibers I'm going to pull up and out and realign with the shorter ones to make them all consistent. Once I have my fibers lined up, I'm going to apply it to the hook, look at how long I want the bait to be, and cut the fibers accordingly. Now, holding all the fibers in place, I put it right behind the eye of the hook, take a wrap and tie it down. Now I'm going to take a few strands of the crystal flash, pinch it, and tie it in right next to the polar fiber. You can tie it on top, which I do, or on both, one on each side. Now I have the profile I want, and I'm going to take and wrap towards the bend of the hook, down the shank, and back again to tie the material down. Next, all I have to do is apply a couple of stick-on eyes, and I put one eye on one side, and I'm going to take one wrap around that eye with the thread just to hold it in place. Turn around and take another eye, take another wrap, hold it in place, and there's my fly ready to go before I epoxy it. Now all I have to do is whip finish, and I don't have to whip finish behind the eye of the hook. I can do it anywhere in the body because the epoxy will dry over the top of the thread and I won't see anything because the thread is clear. Thoroughly mix the epoxy, and then I'll take a little clump of it and apply it to the fly. And the one thing that I really want to pay attention to is I want to make sure that I get some epoxy back on the polar fiber itself so that it does not wrap the hook when it's cast. Take it out of the vise and put it on the wheel. And there you have the epoxy minnow.